The Moonlit Path, a calm story to sleep to. The whispering forest. The night was gentle. A soft breeze wove through the treetops, rustling the silver-lit leaves like a whispered lullaby. Beneath their swaying branches, Lena walked along a narrow dirt path, her footsteps light against the cool earth. The air smelled of rain-kissed moss and blooming jasmine, a scent so calming it made her eyelids heavy. Fireflies drifted lazily around her, their golden glow pulsing in slow, steady rhythms. They moved as if guiding her, tiny lanterns floating through the darkness, leading her deeper into the heart of the forest. Lena followed without hesitation, feeling safe, welcome at home. The trees here were unlike any she had seen before. Their trunks stretched high, curving gently as if bowing to the moon. Their leaves, brushed with silver, shimmered softly each time the wind passed through. It was as though the forest itself was breathing, a slow, steady inhale, then a peaceful sigh. A soft hoot echoed through the stillness. Lena paused, turning toward the sound. Perched upon a low, twisting branch was a great owl. His feathers were a mixture of deep charcoal and moonlit white, his eyes large and knowing. "Traveler," the owl spoke, his voice smooth as the night air. "You have found the path of dreams." Lena tilted her head, intrigued. "The path of dreams," she repeated. The owl blinked slowly. "It appears only to those who seek peace and rest. It leads them where they need to go, though not always where they expect." Lena stepped closer, the glow of the fireflies illuminating the wise old bird. "Where does it lead?" "To the quiet corners of the soul," the owl answered. "To the place where the world softens, where the mind unwinds, where the heart is light." He ruffled his feathers. "It is different for everyone." Lena thought for a moment, letting his words settle in her heart. The wind wove through the trees again, carrying with it a hush so peaceful, so inviting, she felt herself sigh without realizing it. "Then I will follow it," she said softly. Orin the owl gave a slow, approving nod. "Then listen," he advised. "Let the forest speak to you." Lena closed her eyes. She heard it, the whispers of the leaves, the distant hush of a slow-moving stream, the soft hum of the earth beneath her feet. It wasn't silence, but something deeper, a quietness filled with warmth, a lullaby woven into the night itself. When she opened her eyes, Orin was gone, but the path remained, glowing faintly ahead, inviting her onward. So with a peaceful heart, Lena walked forward, each step lighter than the last. The Lake of Stars. Lena stepped through the whispering trees and into an open clearing bathed in moonlight. Before her, stretching endlessly beneath the silver glow of the night sky, lay a vast, glassy lake. The surface was impossibly still, reflecting the heavens so perfectly that it seemed as though the stars had left the sky to drift upon water. A gentle mist hovered just above the lake, curling and shifting like something alive, breathing in time with the hushed ripples that lapped against the shore. The air smelled of cool stone and blooming water lilies, their petals unfurling beneath the moon's watchful eye. Lena felt something soft and familiar settle over her, a quiet feeling, warm and weightless, like the moments just before sleep. She walked to the water's edge, kneeling where the shore met the lake. As her fingers brushed against the surface, a ripple spread outward in slow, perfect circles. The water was not cold as she expected, but warm, like hands gently wrapping around hers, welcoming her touch. A voice, no louder than the rustling reeds, whispered through the mist, "You have come far, traveler." Lena turned her head. Standing just beyond the water was a figure draped in moonlight. Her long, flowing robes shimmered like the lake itself, her hair a cascade of silver strands that swayed as if caught in an invisible current. Lena did not feel afraid. The woman's presence was as calm as the night, her voice carrying the same gentle weight as the wind in the trees. "Who are you?" Lena asked softly. "I am Mira," the woman said, "a keeper of this place." She gestured toward the lake. "Here, the stars do not simply reflect. They remember." Lena glanced at the shimmering water. Remember what? Mira smiled, kneeling beside her. Dreams. Lena's fingers traced the surface of the lake once more, and suddenly she felt it, a warmth spreading through her fingertips, weaving its way through her chest, settling deep in her soul. Soft laughter. A lullaby hummed long ago. A memory of home, of safety, of a time when she was small, wrapped in a blanket, listening to the rain. She gasped, her heart swelling with a feeling she couldn't quite name. Something old and familiar, something she had nearly forgotten. The lake holds peaceful dreams, Mira said, watching Lena's wonder. Each ripple carries a memory of quiet moments, of love, of the gentle stillness before waking. She reached down, touching the water beside Lena. If you listen, it will share them with you. Lena closed her eyes, letting the warmth of the lake's whispers settle into her bones. The soft waves lapped against the shore, a slow, rhythmic melody, steady as a heartbeat. The mist curled around her shoulders, light as a sigh. She laid back on the cool, dewy grass, gazing up at the stars, not just in the sky, but beneath her as well, surrounding her, holding her. And as the night wrapped around her like a quiet embrace, she drifted into sleep, peaceful and weightless, as if she too had become part of the stars. The Bridge of Dreams. Lena walked through the mist, her steps quiet against the soft earth, until the trees thinned and the world opened up before her. A wooden bridge stretched into the sky, its worn planks suspended between the clouds. No ropes held it in place, no pillars rose to support it. It simply existed, hanging in the vast ocean of night, its edges kissed by silver moonlight. Lena stepped forward hesitantly, the air beneath her light as a breath. As her foot touched the first plank, the bridge did not creak. Instead, it hummed, a soft vibration beneath her soles, as if welcoming her presence. The sky stretched endlessly in all directions. Above and below, stars shimmered in great sweeping constellations, their glow reflecting off the bridge like scattered pearls. With each step, Lena felt as though she were floating, weightless as the air itself. Tiny glowing moths flitted around her, their wings delicate and translucent, catching the light with each slow, drifting movement. They danced around her shoulders, guiding her forward, their soft glow casting fleeting patterns on her skin. Somewhere ahead, a voice spoke. "You walk lightly, traveler." Lena turned and saw a man sitting at the bridge's edge, his legs dangling over the side as if the vast sky below was nothing to fear. His hair was silver with age, his face worn yet kind. His long coat fluttered slightly, as though caught in a wind that did not exist. Lena stepped closer. "Are you real?" she asked softly. The man smiled. "As real as the bridge beneath your feet." He gestured beside him. "Sit if you wish." Lena hesitated only for a moment before lowering herself beside him. The planks felt warm beneath her palms, like sun-kissed wood, though the night was cool. "I am Elias," the man said, gazing out at the endless sky. "I have walked the moonlit path for longer than I can remember, collecting stories of peaceful places." Lena followed his gaze, watching as a shooting star streaked across the heavens, its tail painting a silver arc in the darkness. "What kind of stories?" she asked. Elias chuckled, the kind that lull the heart into stillness. He tilted his head, like the sound of waves against the shore, the hush of snowfall on quiet streets. the laughter of a child half asleep in their mother's arms. Lena listened, letting his words settle around her. The bridge rocked slightly beneath them. Not a warning, not a danger, but a gentle rhythm, like the sway of a boat on a peaceful lake. She sighed, closing her eyes for a moment. Each step forward on this path had felt lighter, as if she were shedding something unseen, something she had carried for too long. When she opened her eyes, Elias was watching her with a knowing smile. "You are close now," he said softly. Lena looked toward the far end of the bridge, where the planks seemed to fade into light. She didn't know what waited for her there, but she was no longer afraid. As she rose to her feet, the moths followed, their soft glow pulsing around her like a heartbeat. She took a step forward, then another, and with each step, she felt herself grow lighter, freer, as if she were floating toward a place where only peace remained. The moon's gentle embrace. Lena's journey had led her through shadowed woods, across meadows where the grass whispered secrets in the breeze, and along winding paths that seemed to stretch endlessly. But tonight, something different awaited her. At the end of the path, there was a small hill, its contours soft and welcoming, bathed in a silver light that shimmered like liquid moonbeams. The moon hung in the sky, a magnificent orb, vast and soft in its glow, as if it were a living thing. Its light wasn't harsh. Instead, it cast a gentle, calming radiance that touched everything below with a tender caress. It seemed almost close enough to reach out and grasp, as though the universe itself had unfolded just for this moment. The hill she stood upon felt sacred, as if it was the meeting place of earth and sky, where dreams and reality blurred into one. Lena paused at the crest, her breath catching in awe at the beauty before her. The world felt so still, so peaceful. She could hear the soft hum of the wind through the grass, a melody so quiet and soothing that it seemed to resonate with the deepest part of her soul. The scent of night-blooming flowers wafted gently toward her, delicate and intoxicating, mingling with the fresh, crisp air. The atmosphere was charged with tranquility, as if time had slowed to a perfect, unbroken rhythm. She let out a quiet sigh, her heart swelling with a profound sense of peace. The weight of the world, which had clung to her throughout her travels, seemed to lift with every breath. It was as though she had arrived at the end of her long journey, though she knew it wasn't a place she could find on any map. It was the place where dreams went to rest, and where weary souls could lay down their burdens. Lena felt herself drawn to the earth beneath her, the hill now seeming like an old, familiar friend. She knelt in the soft grass, her fingers brushing against the cool blades, before slowly lying back, stretching her limbs against the cool night air. Her eyes lifted toward the sky, where the moon hung like a glowing guardian, watching over her with a serene gaze. The stars, distant and twinkling, seemed to circle the moon, as if they too were a part of this silent dance of the heavens. The wind, which had been a constant presence on her journey, now carried a gentle voice, soft, like the echo of a forgotten lullaby. It whispered through the rustling grass, curling around her in a delicate embrace. "Rest now, traveler," it seemed to say, its voice both comforting and eternal. "You have found the quiet place you seek." Lena's eyelids fluttered, heavy with the weight of sleep, the wind's words weaving through her thoughts like the softest of threads. Her body felt weightless, as though it were dissolving into the night itself. The moon's glow seemed to wrap around her like a blanket, enfolding her in its peaceful warmth. The world around her faded into a haze of soft light and gentle sounds. The only reality now the peaceful rhythm of her breath, the wind's whisper, and the quiet watch of the moon above. With each passing second, Lena's connection to the world outside herself grew fainter, the boundaries between dream and waking dissolving entirely. Her thoughts became like drifting clouds, her mind slipping further into the gentle embrace of slumber. She knew that in this place, she was safe, wrapped in the arms of the night, guarded by the luminous moon above and the soft earth below. And as her final thought melted away, the moonlit path, which had guided her here, began to fade. It wasn't gone, only waiting for the next traveler to find its silver glow and follow its winding way toward the peace it promised. The path would always be there, just beyond the reach of waking thought, waiting for the next dreamer to discover the quiet sanctuary it held. For now, Lena slept, the moon's gentle embrace cradling her as she drifted into a peaceful slumber, knowing she had found the rest she had longed for beneath the moon's tender gaze.